so we have this from our homework problem, right? We need to minimize this DFA. Step one, draw your table. So the way I do it is these A to H, those are my states. So I'm going to do the states diagonally. Let's do it in caps. That's A, that's B, and you can do this on your book as well. Like I did it on my notebook, but I'm doing it here because this is a bit cleaner. C, D, E, F, G, H. Okay, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Okay, good. Perfect. So that's step one. This is my table. Step two is I need to check. So D is a final state, right? Now, if you had C as a final state as well, then you'll have to do the same thing for C. But we only have one final state here, and that's D. So we need to tick. We need to put a check mark. I'm going to use X. We need to put a check mark in every pair that contains a D. So for example, let me take this out. This here is AD, BD, CD, ED, FD, GH. Why is that? Because A is a non-final state, D is a final state, B is a non-final, D is a final. So all non-final states, right, where you have all pairs where one is final and one is non-final, those are the ones that I'm putting a tick. Now let's say for a moment that C was a final state. I would not put a tick on CD because C is final, D is final. So in this case, C is not final, D is final. Alright, so that's the first one. The next thing that we need to do is all the pairs that did not have a tick, we need to go through the step, the passes. So how I did it on my book, right, is I say, okay, pass 1, pass 2, pass 3. Just in case. I mean, you could have 4 passes or however many you need before you thing. And this is my starting pair, or my pairs. Okay. Now, I'm gonna read I'm gonna start with AB. Now, probably should start with a different pair because AB is a bit weird with this one. Confused me at first. But let's start with AB, right? Just copy and paste this. Easy use. So I have AB. So I have the pair AB. Now I read a 0. Where does it take me? If I read an A, right? If I'm at A, state A, and I read a 0, it takes me to B, right? And I read a B, I'm at B and I read a 0, it takes me to A. Now, this is what was confusing me at first. You are not, I repeat this, you are not reading a B because you landed on a B after you read 0 from A. You're reading a B because B is here. And I'll show you what I mean by that shortly. Alright, so I'm at BA. Now we look at BA. BA is here. This is not checked, so we can't check here. Now I'm at the same state and I read a 0. Sorry, I read a 1. Now remember, you got to check each one. If you have 0, 1, 2, then you have to also look at 2 if you don't arrive at if you don't make a change. So you check, if you make a change, you make, if you don't, we'll see it as we go along. Alright, so I'm at A and I read a 1. Where does that take me? That takes me to A. And this is what I mean when I say you're not what confused me earlier. Um, Now I'm at B and I read a 1, it takes me to C. So each one of these you have to have this pair, right? So here, AB, I read a 1, it takes me to C. I still need to read 1 because B is here, right? And that's what I meant when I said I'm not reading the B here because it's what I read. I'm just looking at this here, looking at this. I'm reading it. I'm at A. I read a 0. It takes me to B. I'm at B. I read a 0. It takes me to A. It's not because one is not dependent on the other. They're both independent reads. They're independent reads. They're not dependent. So I'm at A. I read a 1. It takes me to A. I'm at B independently and I read a 1, it takes me to C. Now I look at AC, that is not marked, so there is no changes made to this one. Now I go to the next pair. Let's do AC. Right? I'm at AC and I read a 0. Copy and paste with easy. I'm at AC and I read a 0. Where does it take me? I'm at A and I read a 0, it takes me to B. I'm at C and I read a 0, it takes me to D. Now I look at BD, I see that BD is marked, so I need to mark AC. And because I marked AC, I'm also going to just put a tick on this. So I don't have to mark this again next time. See what I did there? I'm at A, I read a 0, it takes me to B. I'm at C, I read a 0, it takes me to D. This is my pair, BD. I look at BD, BD is marked, so I mark AC. Now I don't have to do 1 in this case because I already got the mark. Now I need to do the next pair. I need to do AE. AE. I read a 0. Where does that take me? That takes me to, I'm at A, I read a 0, it takes me to B. I'm at E, I read a 0, it takes me to D. So I'm at BD again. I look at BD, BD is marked, so I need to mark AE. Now in my second pass, I don't need to do this two again because they're already marked. I only need to do the ones that are not marked. So if after, so I probably would have to do AB after I'm done. Okay, so I move to the next one. AF. And I read a 0. I'm at A, I read a 0, it takes me to B. I'm at F, I read a 0, it takes me to G. Right? That's this G here. I'm at F, I read a 0, it takes me to G. I don't have to make any changes. But I do have to test 1 because I did not make a change on 0. So I'm at A, I read a 1, I am at A. I'm at F, I read a 0, I read a 1, and I'm at E. Okay. So now I look at AE. Oh, I forgot. I was supposed to look at BG. Sorry. I look at BG, it's not marked. So I couldn't make a change. I look at AE. AE is marked, so I need to mark AF. See that? look at AE, it is marked, therefore I have to mark AF. AF being the state that I was uh, examining. I don't want to say check because I'm using the word check to check these boxes up here. Okay, and so the next pair, I do AG. I read a 0. Where do I land? I know from doing this, I know that once I read an A, I'm at A and I read a 0, I land at B, and I read a 0 at G, I land at F. So I look at BF, it is not marked, so I need to check the 1. I'm at A, I read a 1, I land at A. I'm at G, I read a 1, I land at G. Now I look at AG, AG is not marked, which is what the original thing, so I am not going to mark. I'm not going to make any change to this. So I need to test this on my second pass. I'm going to run out of space at the bottom, so I'll have to go scroll up and down shortly. Alright, let's do this. I need to do AH next. I'm at AH, I read a 0. Where does that take me? I'm at A, I read a 0. I know I'm going to go at B. I've been doing it for a couple of times here already. And I'm at H and I read a 0. I'm at G. I look at BG, there aren't any check marks, so I need to do a 1. Where does that take me? I'm at A and I read a 1, it takes me to A. I'm at H and I read a 1, it takes me to D. Now I look at AD. AD is here, AD is checked, which means I need to check AF. Alright, and that's my A. I'm done with this column here on the first pass. Now I need to do the second column. I need to do all of them with B, and then I need to do all of the unchecked with C, then E, then F, then G, and then finally, well, that by the time you get to GH, it's only 1. So let me do BC, and I'm not going to do all of them in this example, or in this workup, but by following this, you should be able to complete the table filling algorithm, hopefully. As you can see, it's really not that difficult. It's just looking at the pair. To me, it's really thick. It's broken down into 3 different steps. First, well, maybe more than 3. First, draw the table, the diagonal table. Then, second, any set of states that are final or non-final or vice versa, then you put a check mark. Third, any of them that you didn't have a check mark, you will do this that I just did with all these pairs, and then fill in your check mark. Do it again a second time. Do it again if there are changes in the first pass, then you do it again a second time. If there are changes, then you do it again a third time. If there are no changes in any of the passes, then you're done. So I really hope that this helped clear it up how to do the table filling algorithm.